Router table basics. Our router tables are located on our south wall, and they are the exact same. First, let's talk about the router tabletop. It has a miter slot built into the tabletop to accept the miter gauge. You will probably use the miter gauge when making drawers in cabinet making or creative furniture. Our router tables also have what's called the fence. The fence is adjustable and moves front to back in the opening of the tabletop. Remember, if you adjust the fence, make sure that you tighten the knobs before you use the router table. Also, the opening of what houses the bit can be adjusted as well by using a small Allen wrench. The goal here is to be able to adjust these boards so that they are very close to either side of the bit. And just remember, if you adjust these boards, to make sure that you tighten them before operating the router table. Another component of our fence are these shop-made stop blocks. They hang behind the router table and they slide into the little groove that sits on the top of the router table fence. We use these mostly in Intro to Woods when we are rounding over different parts of our box project. They are adjustable by tightening or loosening the different knobs on either one of the stop blocks. In the tabletop surrounding the router bit are these throat plates. They have different sizes, openings, and they're adjusted by using this little tool that hangs behind the router table. If you have any trouble with removing any of the throat plates or tightening them, please see the instructor. Let's back up a little bit and start talking about the different router bits and how to change them. First, behind the router table is this tool along with a curved top and a spring located on the shaft. You'll also need 2 wrenches. One of the wrenches should have a bent end. Before ever changing the bit or making adjustments, you should always unplug the tool. This is by far the most important part of changing the router bit in the router table. To the right of the opening, or where the bit comes out of the table, is a small hole. The end of the shaft that has the spring located on it will go into that hole. Initially, when you enter this shaft into the hole, the curved end should be parallel with the fence. So here the shaft is going into the hole. The curved top is parallel to the fence. As the instructor presses down on the shaft and turns the curved top so that it is perpendicular to the fence, you will be able to raise and lower the motor. Whenever you change the bit, the motor must be raised all the way up. Now, take those 2 wrenches that you grabbed in the beginning and place the curved wrench on the bottom of the 2 nuts. This is the nut that is connected to the motor. And the silver wrench will go on what is called the collet. The collet is a nut that holds the bit in place on the motor. Pulling the wrenches apart from each other allows you to unlock the collet from the motor. Remember, before you ever attempt to remove a bit, that you unplug the machine from the wall. The part of the router bit that goes into the collet is called the shanks. There are 2 different sizes for all of our router bits, either a 1/4 inch shank, as shown here, or a 1/2 inch shank, shown here. All collets are either stored behind the router tables or in the private room next to the sink. Woodshop!